live, youtube.com, kevole, Spreaker.com, kevole, Soundcloud.com, kevole, and hope you're having a nice weekend. And by the way, for the first time in it seems like 1,000 years, we are having rain out in Vancouver. So, in the Metro Vancouver area, wet stuff is coming from the sky, which has long been needed with considering the wildfires and stuff that has been happening out here. So, we'll take the rain. Yesterday, I do follow the political scene back in Alberta as closely as I possibly can, considering I have a lot of friends out there, and most of you post stuff on it on social media, so I'm able to follow. So one of the things that came up yesterday, and I want to start by... No, we'll stick with this, is there's been a whole conversation around the $15 an hour minimum wage. The NDP has, even in BC, wants to do it, and I think that's a common idea. And the NDP, of course, moved the minimum wage up to $15 an hour. Currently $11.85 here in BC. The NDP is in Alberta is planning to bump that up with gradual steps to $15 an hour. However, Doug Schweitzer of the UCP campaign, one of the 4 leadership campaign candidates, has suggested to repeal it and stop it at $12.20 an hour. So the minimum wage in Alberta would be $12.20 an hour, and his argument is got a few points. The first point is it will be the second highest minimum wage in Canada. That's a sarcastic applause, by the way. And the second one is it will impact. In his opinion, it's going to impact small businesses to have a higher minimum wage. So I want to address a couple of these things. And I used to be a guy that isn't a big fan of necessarily moving it up to $15 an hour. But I'd like to just give a bit of a different perspective on here that I have learned the last couple of years living out here in Vancouver and doing jobs that are considered menial/minimum wage jobs. Because these jobs are not necessarily being only the teenager just either A, getting out of high school, or B, transitioning from high school to university or college. There's a lot of adults, older adults, doing a lot of these jobs, working at Cineplex or Shoppers Drug Mart or McDonald's or places like that. And we've been quite fascinated with a couple of people. The last few days, of course, I'm working right now at Shoppers Drug Mart, and the last few days, I've seen some people that have really just busted their butts and given 100% of an effort, but helping out wherever they can, showing just great initiative, and it's not their only job. They have this job and they have another job, because $12.20 an hour is not, or $11.85 an hour here as your minimum wage in BC is not. If you live in Vancouver, it's next to impossible to live on that wage, and it's tough for me to watch people work really, really hard and put in a great effort and tell them that your efforts are only worth $12.20 an hour. Now, I posted something on Facebook about this yesterday, and what was really fascinating to me is that someone said, well, these jobs are not worth $15 an hour, so this vocation isn't a $15 an hour minimum wage, so they shouldn't get it. but what about the actual people? And that's where I think where I kind of maybe misunderstood or walk a while in someone's shoes, as one would say. Um, it's about the person and the effort and um, the fact that they are worth more in an economy like this, in a country like Canada and a province like BC, where we do have a lot. Like we have a lot here. It's not like we're fighting for scraps in this day and age. I mean, yes, things are tough in a number of people's lives for sure, but we do have a lot here. We have a lot of resources that it's tough for me to understand how we can be okay with someone having to work 2 or 3 jobs to make their ends meet. I mean, some people make that choice. Some people, and maybe that's just economy, and we can't do anything to change that. But I do feel that it's something about our minimum wage and this idea of paying the lowest, as low as we possibly can, is really a devaluing concept to me. I've worked in a higher end paying jobs, and I've worked in lower end paying jobs, and there are people that I've seen in higher end paying jobs at times can kind of take it easy, and that can happen in lower end paying jobs. For not saying that that's not, but something within me when I read this and this idea that he wants to cut this down to 12.20 an hour, in an idea where he's, especially Doug Schweitzer, has been talking a lot about being a people person. I'm a little confused why he doesn't want to. It feels devaluing to me. Maybe some of you can explain that to me on Facebook Live, YouTube, Spreaker, or on the comments. And so, and what was I going to? I just forgot what I was. Give me a moment here. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, he talked about this affecting small businesses. But the interesting thing is, in any of the debates and conversations I have had with people that are actually running small businesses, they are planning their finances around the idea of $15 an hour. So when they're putting their staff together, they're putting their budget together, at the idea that they're at $15 an hour, not $12.20 an hour, not $11.85 an hour, because they know that the better pay that you can get, the better work that you will get, and the more valuable that you will get. So his argument about this helping small businesses, a lot of small businesses already are thinking about the $15 an hour minimum wage if they're starting a business or in that. So that doesn't make sense to me. It's a lot of the bigger corporations that are doing the $12.20 an hour, and to me that's interesting. The places that are very busy, that make a lot of money, or we are perceiving to make a lot of money, are the ones paying their employees a little bit of a lower minimum wage. So I'm curious what your thoughts on that. Are we able to live on $12.20 an hour? Comment on Facebook Live, YouTube.com. I'll put up a poll on Twitter, and you can also listen to this again if you want, if your pleasure, on Spreaker or SoundCloud. Just a couple of other quick things before I go. I've been, the last couple of weeks, I've been doing some 2.5-minute newscasts at the end of the day. You can check them out on SoundCloud and Spreaker. Just because the reason I'm doing that is because I need to keep in practice to do the news. So if they hire me, someone hires me to do the news, I'm fresh and I have some updated demos. So feel free to check those out. I might do a longer one at one point, but they're 2.5 minutes. So feel free to let's just a news weather sportscast of the day. And if you're an NFL fan, On Sunday, we'll be with my buddies Mitch and Dylan on YouTube talking a lot of NFL in the morning. We're doing an NFL morning show. And then after the Sunday night game, we'll be doing a recap of the entire week. So we'll be doing that for the entire next rest of the NFL season, which I'm pretty excited about. So keep an eye out for that. And thanks for watching and listening. And we will talk to you all very soon. Can you live on $12.20 an hour? Bye for now.